Crap with Beth and Matt. Cut to Crap is the world's #1 no bullshit health and fitness podcast. What is up, friends and fellow no bullshitters? This week, Beth and I talk about the running program we're currently doing, and then we move into answering your questions from Instagram and TikTok. We talk about what you can do to prevent shin splints, discuss what a calorie deficit is, and more. Let's do this.
Oh, what is up?
What is up, Beth? Happy Wednesday.
Happy fucking hump day.
And happy Friday to everybody that's listening to this.
Oh yeah, happy Friday, everyone.
How's your week going so far? Good?
Well, it's amazing. My husband has COVID. My world around me is just bomb dropping, but I decided to switch my mindset.
Yeah.
It's not what happens, it's how we react. Yesterday I was having a fucking pity party. I have not been in the gym since last Thursday.
Yeah.
And, but I can focus on my nutrition. I can still get my steps in. So that's what I'm doing.
You know what? And I think that's important to note too, because you gave your, the pity party, that's okay. Let's give yourself a day, right? Give yourself a day, have that pity party, feel down about it, but then we got to get the fuck back on the horse, right?
Right.
You can't let it turn into multiple days. And that's when it becomes a problem. Yeah. One day is cool. One day is fine. I mean, please take that day. But let's try to nip it in the bud right there.
Yeah. I mean, it was for sure easy to go down a deep, dark hole because I, literally am doing everything. And on top of my business, and then I have my son, and my husband can't go anywhere, and so everything's changed. But I'm adapting and I'm conquering.
Good, conquering, because you're a fucking badass.
I'm a fucking beast.
I'm gonna call myself out here a little bit.
Okay.
Not really calling myself out, but I have not been enjoying strength training actually at all. Ever since I did my powerlifting meet, took some time off. I just haven't been enjoying strength training. I don't know what it is. I'm still going through the motions, but I'm getting to the point now where all right, it's been a month of me doing the strength training, getting back to it, and I'm still not enjoying it the way I used to. I don't know if it's just that summertime's hitting and now I just want to be outside exploring, traveling, hiking, which I have plenty of that coming up. But also now I'm doing the Couch to 5K with you and running, and holy shit, I like running.
It's fun. Today kicked my ass, man. The 3-minute one, I was like, oh fuck.
Now we're getting into it.
This is kind of a struggle. I'm like, I used to run 30 minutes straight, and this 3-minute-er, I'm like, when is this going to be over?
Yeah. Gotta have some good songs going though. Playlist is everything for those longer runs.
Yeah. And I'm loving it. I'm like, it's taken out all my aggression on that. I pretty much go as fast as I can in those 3 minutes.
Yeah, for sure. And I was using today. So today was my second run of the week with the 3-minute runs. And I'm using it as a way to set a pace and find a pace that works for me, because I know I'm going to need to do that in the long, once we get into the longer runs, like next week, for instance, we start doing the 5-minute run. So I think I've got a pretty good pace going right now.
Nice.
And I'm really excited. I'm really looking forward to when we run first mile nonstop. Because I really want to see what my time is. I have a number in my head. I have a number in my head that I think I'm going to come under, and I don't know. Should I put it out there, or should I wait for it?
It's going to be around a 9 or something.
8 minutes. I think I can do an 8-minute mile. So
really, that's gold. That's pretty fucking.
I'm putting it out there. Yeah. So for me, when I used to be a runner, it was always hardest the first half mile, getting started. But once you hit that stride, it seems like you can just kind of just keep running. And that's, I'm getting to that point now, with these 3-minute runs. I'm like, okay, I can maintain this pace. And I think I'm at an 8-mile clip right now, or 8-minute mile clip right now, I think. So, yeah.
I have no idea where I'm at. I'm not really tracking, or I'm not paying attention yet. I will when I hit that mile zone.
So that's my thing right now. I don't enjoy strength training, but I am enjoying running. Who the fuck am I? Never would have thought I'd be saying that. But
hey,
with the strength training, I'm thinking about talking with my coach and just dude, first of all, we talk about this all the time, being honest with your coach. So I'm going to talk with him after this week's done. Man, I'm not enjoying the strength training. I know we have a goal, to compete again within 6 months, but I don't even know if I want to do that right now, So I think I might just want to start going more into a more bro split, like a bro split, bodybuilding split, and just do that. When I do the higher reps and things like that, I have been enjoying that. I just don't enjoy pushing heavy weight around right now. So
maybe just to maintain your muscle throughout the summer and enjoy running.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I like
Yeah.
running, as
Oh,
Forrest Gump would
shit.
say.
All right, what race are we doing, Matt?
That is a good question. I
We
love that
should
because
we should plan a half marathon somewhere.
let's fucking do that.
Okay, we're putting it out there,
It's
everyone.
on recording now, so we're gonna plan our first
I'm telling you,
half marathon.
it's good to have a goal like that.
It is. So let's look forward to that. But also, like with the running group that we're doing for this on Strava, I know Alex on there had be like, we should plan a virtual 5K together. And I say, fuck yeah, let's do that. So let's find a virtual 5K that we can do for the group, and everybody listening too. Please join us in this. It's a great way for us to keep each other accountable and just work towards something together. And it's free.
Yeah.
Exactly.
How fun.
But also, yeah, let's find a half marathon, and we will do a half marathon. Oh my God, I can't believe I just said that.
Hey, it's half marathon is the sweet spot because it's not a marathon and it's not like, those have been my favorite race is a half.
Yeah, gotcha. I've done one 5K in my entire life, and then I retired from running after that. So now I'm unretired. So fuck it, let's do a half.
It'd be a good fall thing to do. Train throughout the summer.
It would be a good fall thing to do. Yeah, totally.
Sure. There's one out here called the Mount Desert Island Half Marathon that's in Acadia.
Oh God, is that through the mountains?
Yeah, and the leaves are all like orange, and that was my favorite because you're running through like the most beautiful fucking scenery that you've ever seen. I don't know.
Yes, I can already picture it.
You can look it up.
Yeah,
it's a pretty famous one. It's Mount MDI is what it's called.
Okay.
Mount Desert Island Half.
Got it.
That's in November or October, I think.
Okay. Now, I think this is a really good segue for us because I have what we're going to do today with this episode, right, is we're answering people's questions from Instagram and from TikTok. So since we're talking about running, I actually received a question from somebody on Instagram. Let me see who it was so I can give him a shout out. It was DJ Demo _. I said, how do you get rid of shin splints when starting a walk/jog? And I think that's a great question, especially because you and I are currently in a running program. So I will say I've been fortunate. I haven't gotten shin splints since we started this new running program. And I think that's for a couple of reasons. First of all, we walk every day. So we've built up our calf muscles and everything in that area. So that's a good way of doing that. So we want to practice strength training to build up our calf area and strengthen our toes and things like that. But even before that, like we want to properly warm up, right? So that's one part that I like about the Couch to 5K program is it's got the built-in warm up and cool down. So just light stretching, little bit of light walking before even starting your heavier walk or jog. And then cool down afterwards with some light stretching and light walking. Don't just start a heavy physical activity and then stop. We need to prime our body for it, and we need to let our body come down from it. Shoes, of course, are a big factor in this too, right? So having good shoes with like a good arch and heel support. So what did we talk about a few weeks ago? Going and getting fitted for running shoes, right? At a running store, not like Walmart and Dick's. I don't know. Dick's might be decent for that, but like go to a run if you're gonna get serious about this, invest in a good pair of shoes and get fitted for them.
Yeah, and when I got shin splints, it's because I was doing too much. So think about like how much I was trying to go faster than I should, and I was overdoing it with my running, and that's that's what really got me shin splints.
Yeah, totally. So pushing too hard with running and jogging, it's really a game of pace. Like we talked about earlier, setting a good pace. You should be, when you're jogging, it's not a sprint, right? It's a marathon, not a sprint. We should be jogging at a pace where we can talk in short bursts without running out of breath. Like then we can't sit there and hold a conversation necessarily, but we can talk in short bursts without running out of breath. And also don't be exercising through pain and things like that. So the other thing that I will note on here is try to run on surfaces that are softer and have more cushion. So running on concrete is going to be a lot harder, and you're going to be more likely to develop shin splints. So maybe find a running path, that's like loose gravel or dirt or grass or something, rather than like a sidewalk or the
Yeah.
road. Or treadmill could be good for this too, because it's got that absorption factor. So
Yeah.
so there we go. That's the first question of the Q&A. Yeah.
There we go. All right. Should I start with Instagram or TikTok?
Let's do let's knock out the Instagram stuff first.
All right. I'm just going to start from the top. All right. So I have Coley Danger. I hope I pronounced that right.
That name sounds familiar.
Do you provide just strength training ? Or do you have to have the whole package? I'm guessing that's for coaching, and I provide, like, it could be either strength training and nutrition, or nutrition alone, or group coaching that includes strength training and nutrition. So it really is individual with what you need, and I'm pretty sure that Matt provides the same thing.
Absolutely. So most people come to us, they get both strength training and nutrition, but we do have some people that are working with us for just nutrition, and we have people that are working with us for just strength training and workouts, and that's okay. Everything we do is custom, right? We're not going to sit here and just give you a cookie cutter program and say, all right, see you in a month. So if you need help with just strength training, your nutrition, you feel good about it, cool. We can help you with that. And like you said, we have the group. We also have group coaching that we're going to be launching within the next month as well. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, they don't have to do they don't have to do both. They can do just one if they need it.
Yeah, exactly. So there you go, Coley Danger. All right.
You're Great next. Question. Okay, I am next. So this one says, this is an interesting one. Due to being sick for about a week, nothing sounds good to eat. How would you move on? So this person's this is Walk a Mile 60. They said, due to being sick about a week, nothing sounds good to eat. How would you move on? So I think when you're sick, it's really important to still try to nourish your body, but also hydrate. So we need to be drinking lots of water. You probably need to be drinking some type of an electrolyte as well to replenish that water and the sodium and everything that you're losing. And of course, things like broths and soups and things like that are fantastic when you're sick. Now, when you're done with being sick, because that's when you're sick, that's your job, is to just feel better. I don't want you worried about missing workouts and things like that. So when we come off of being sick, I think it's important to understand that you're probably going to be weaker for a day or two, as you're getting your strength back. That doesn't mean you lost a bunch of muscle mass and strength in that week. No, it just means your body needs to adjust. It was just going through a very fatiguing time. So when you get back to your workouts, take it easy on the workouts, reduce the overall sets and reps that you're doing. Don't push yourself as hard for that first or second workout back. What do you think?
Yep. I agree. 100%. I concur. Right. Okay. So Jeannie Garrett Mason, how do you handle socializing with people who drink and the pressure to drink with them? Ooh, I love this question, Jeannie. Okay, so social pressure. God, I feel like adults are worse than kids when it comes to peer pressure, right?
With alcohol, at least.
I'm gonna take it from both ends. From one that was a heavy drinker, trying to push it on people that at that point were not drinking, right? So it was more about me and wanting people to do the bad things with me, like and come join my night of debauchery, and it actually made me feel more bad than let's say, like, for me, like being in the position that I was, kind of thing. And then on the other end, you don't have to do anything that you don't fucking want to do. And this is where you're like, I'm just not drinking right now, and that's it. That's all you have to say. I'm just not drinking right now, and that's okay. If your friends do not understand, then you need new friends.
Yes, absolutely. Flat out.
So
you have a drinking buddy. You don't have a friend. That's what that person is.
Exactly. And so really, if I have a goal, like I don't drink right now. No one really asks me, but this weekend I was put in situations where I was around, alcohol. But everyone, no one's going to be like, Beth, you sure you don't want to drink? They all know that I'm not drinking. So I just really think it comes up to you and being an individual and just saying, I just don't want to drink right now, and standing your ground.
Yeah, flat out. It goes back with boundaries. If people don't respect your boundaries, they do not respect you as a person. Period. So, and that goes with alcohol too. And alcohol is sensitive because our society, our culture is so built around alcohol. Everything, social functions involve alcohol. People are pre-gaming for their fucking kid's birthday party. People are pre-gaming for their child's play. It's
Oh, yeah.
ridiculous. So it's just the new norm, which is, it's sad but true.
Right.
It doesn't need to be that way.
Yeah. Absolutely. Get a mocktail. I mean, I got a mocktail. Honestly, I didn't even want a fucking mocktail. Like, to me, I'm like, I don't want to drink a sugary drink that doesn't have alcohol. I'd rather have fucking water.
Yeah.
But if that's something that you're into, do that too.
Yeah. Totally. Totally. Okay. Well, is that enough on that one?
That's perfect.
Perfect. And I know you and I both made some videos recently about alcohol on our TikTok. So if you guys haven't already, go find those videos and check it out.
I plan on reposting that one.
Do you?
On my Instagram too.
Okay. Nice.
The one
nice.
I do. I thought that was a good one.
Thanks. I loved your input on it too, because you're just like, yep, you're agreeing with me and everything that I was saying. So I appreciate it.
I was in the airport.
I knew you were doing something. I was like, this is a quick, easy way to get a video out though. So
yeah, I was sitting there waiting for my flight. I was like, oh, perfect. All right.
I'm going to be duetting one of yours anyway here soon. So you're one of your most recent bullshit that we need to stop videos. So because people have been really upset with me recently because I was swearing in some of my new videos. So I'm gonna do at yours so that we can give them a double dose of the swear words.
Perfect.
So,
it never ends, really.
It never. Oh my God, it's been so bad recently. Like, are we fucking children? Like,
I mean, really? Like, people
does a
trying to
word
tell us how
upset
to
you?
act. I mean, yeah, it's like, and the diet soda people are out of control. Like, I thought, come on now.
Yep. All of them are out of control. Anyway, so the next question then, this is one I sent to you yesterday. This one was from Danielle. I'm not going to say the person's name because I respect this person. I just haven't had a chance to talk to them about it yet. Is that this person was talking on their story about how there's new research showing that, after 5,000 steps, it's been proven that there's really no benefits from that. And I'm going to call bullshit on that one.
Yeah.
I asked them for their study on that one. They're just busy. They're traveling right now, but they're going to get it to me because I really want to look at that. But I do know that that's bullshit. Like having high needs, having a high physical activity in forms of steps and things like that is proven time and time again to be effective for our overall health. And I'm just going to quote a study, and it's the one that you and I shared with each other yesterday.
And this study is from January, so it's actually not that far.
Yeah.
And it literally says, okay, I'll let you read it.
Yeah. Okay. And then we'll talk about it. And for anybody that wants to know, this is PMID 344-17979. So go to PubMed, type that number in, and this will give you the study. So it's a meta-analysis. Okay. So this meta-analysis included 7 studies, which accounted for 28,141 people. Okay. Which is 175,000 person years, and then 2,301 deaths. So what the study did, they found that rates of all-cause mortality were about 12% lower per 1,000 steps per day, okay? So comparing the lowest step counts to the highest step counts reported in the studies, included in the meta-analysis, that walking 16,000 steps per day was associated with a 66% reduction in all-cause mortality compared to walking just 2,700 steps per day. So walking just 2,700 steps per day was associated with a 3-fold greater risk of all-cause mortality than walking 16,000 steps per day. So that aside, and then from every 1,000 steps after those 2,700 steps, you saw a significant increase in or decrease in all-cause mortality. So the more steps you averaged, the healthier you were, the longer you lived.
Yeah.
So I don't know what this other study was, but I need to see it. But we are such advocates for walking on this on our podcast. I don't know. What's your take on this, Beth?
It doesn't make sense the other way around.
It doesn't. It's 5,000
really
steps.
Doesn't.
If we're being honest, that's not a lot.
Nothing. No,
it's not. You can do that with very minimal effort. And if you're not getting 5,000 steps, guys, I challenge you to make that a goal for yourself. But do it for yourself. Don't do it for me. Do it for yourself. Now, to put that into perspective, you've heard the saying, right? Sitting is the new smoking, and it's fucking true. I've done videos about that too, about how sitting is actually comparable to smoking. And in the study, so all-cause mortality rates are 70 to 80% higher in smokers than non-smokers, which of course we know that, and people with a BMI of 40 versus a BMI of 23 are the same. So smoking and being sedentary go hand in hand in terms of how harmful it is for your overall health.
Yeah.
So that's one thing you can do. If you are sedentary, if you have an office job, you're sitting for 8 to 10 hours a day, the best thing you can do for your overall health is to break up those long periods of inactivity.
Mm-hmm.
While you're at work, get up, stretch your legs, move around the office, go take a water, go get a water, go to the bathroom, talk to your coworker.
Go take a water.
Go take a water. And I get it.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Even while traveling, like on my flight days, I managed to get over 7,000 steps. Why? Because instead of sitting at the fucking airport, I walked around between my flights. There was a big day of sitting really in 2 flights.
Yeah. So while you're at the airport, Beth, other than going on an intentional walk, what are some ways that you can get more steps in while you're at the airport? I've got a few that come to mind, but I want to hear what you think.
Well, I didn't take the little escalator thing that you people get on and they just stand there. No, I went around that and I physically walked. I took the longer way to, instead of taking the shuttle, I walked to.
Don't take the tram unless it's miles. Some airports are huge like that, but
instead of taking elevators, I took the stairs.
Yep.
I intentionally did things to make sure that I was focusing on getting more movement.
Yeah, why are we gonna taking the elevator, taking the moving sidewalk? I like to call it, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell that's called. What's that going to do for you? It's going to save you five or 10 minutes that you're just going to be sitting there waiting for your plane, or take that extra 5 to 10 minutes, get a little bit of movement in, get the blood working, moving a little bit, and do something for your health.
Yeah. Yeah. Did I miss any? Do you have any extra that I didn't think of?
Those were the things that came to my mind, being a frequent traveler. I never take the escalator, I always take the stairs, always.
Yeah.
And and if I do take the escalator, I'm still walking up the escalator.
Right.
Okay?
Totally.
So I shouldn't say I'd never take the escalator, but I'm never just standing on the escalator.
Yeah. Unless I'm like in a rush and I'm late for my flight, that's the only time you're going to see me try to hijack things and do things differently. Yeah. But other than that,
I'll be honest with you, I can walk faster than standing on one of those things. I walk faster than standing on one of those sidewalks.
And you get
if you're walking on those, you're even faster. But what was that?
Yeah. When you get behind, people are just standing there and you're like, come on, I just want to walk on this.
Yeah, exactly. Which is funny because they have a walking lane and a standing lane on those things, but people just fucking are rude and they stand across both lanes. It's like driving in the slow lane or
yeah, it is.
Or I mean driving slow in the passing lane.
Right.
All right. So guys, get your steps in. It's very fucking important for overall health.
Yes. Don't try to get out of it here with studies that are probably bullshit. No. Okay. Aaron K, getting healthy. Ways to work on good, bad food mindset. Not labeling, just eating like normal. Ooh. Okay. This is a good question. I love these questions today. Okay. Well, first, it comes down to you got to heal relationship with food. And how does that start? By stopping all the labels.
Yeah.
Incorporating your fear foods, right? Exposure therapy. I remember the word.
Yes. Look at that, exposure therapy.
So, yes. What is something that scares you? Fit that in your day every single day. And, you may find that you actually will overeat these things at first because you thought of them as bad. And that is part of the process. You have to just go through it, right? What we resist will persist. So
yes,
incorporating those foods in your day really that's where it starts.
Yeah, exactly.
Anything you want to add to that?
Just more of what you said. Restriction is not the answer. So like you said, incorporate your fear foods. It's almost guaranteed you will overeat those foods at first and you will feel some type of way, but you need to work through that. We can't avoid this shit. And this is, therapists tell you these things. People that specialize in eating disorders and disordered eatings, this is what they teach. Restriction is not the key.
No.
But then just stopping the labeling. There are no foods that are good or bad. Eating one salad doesn't make you a good person. Eating one cookie doesn't make you a bad person. Eating one salad doesn't make you healthy. Eating one cookie doesn't make you unhealthy. If that's all we're eating, cookies, then of course it's probably going to reflect in our poor health. But balance and moderation exist for a reason, and it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. Takes practice, but you'll get there.
It does, as with anything. It's not going to happen overnight.
Right. All right.
Very basic question. They said, Dana Laux one said, I left this question with Beth, but I'll ask you too. What exactly is a calorie deficit? And I'm happy to answer that question. It's going to be a very short answer.
Okay.
A calorie deficit is quite simply, this is simplified, bringing in fewer calories than your body needs to maintain its current state, its current body mass. So if you are burning 2,000 calories every day, and that's with our basal metabolic rate, it's with our needs, our non-exercise activity, it's with eating food and with exercise. If we're burning 2,000 calories a day, anything below that will be a calorie deficit, and you'll lose weight at some point and lose, or I should say lose fat at some point. Weight doesn't necessarily mean fat. Now, there's many factors that go into that, right? With calories in, calories out is what it's called.
So what are calories?
Calories, like it's a unit of measurement, and how much energy a food, it's a measurement for how much energy is in a food, and it's how much what the temperature, how much heat it takes to raise the temperature of water when you're looking at it that way. So if we understand that a calorie is just a unit of energy, okay, that's going to help you also change your mind with that good and bad thinking. All food has calories, okay? 1,000 calories of a cookie and 1,000 calories of broccoli. Same amount of energy provided to our bodies, right? Now, of course, the cookie and the broccoli, they have different macro and micronutrients, and they have different impacts on the body. But in terms of fat loss and a calorie deficit, it's 1,000 calories, it's 1,000 calories.
Yeah.
So we need to understand that.
Yeah. So when you think of it like that, then you're going to start to think of your food a little bit differently. Like, okay, how is this going to fuel me versus what you're actually, oh, this is a cookie. Oh my God, I can't believe it.
Right.
You know, so think of it like that.
Absolutely. And then of course, within the calorie deficit equation, the calories in, calories out, there are things that impact calories in. We can be more efficient with our calories in by eating a high protein diet. But that's the calories in, because that's the thermic effect of food. So eating protein takes more energy for our body to break down. So that's why we prioritize protein, for one of many reasons why. Now, the calories out equation, of course, things like hormonal issues can impact that. PCOS, hypothyroidism, insulin resistance, those things all can make getting into a calorie deficit harder. It can impact the calories out part of the equation, but a calorie deficit still works and still applies to you, whether you choose to believe it or not. That's going to upset some people, but you can't just say, I'm in a calorie deficit, but I'm not losing fat. Well, I'm sorry, but you're not in a calorie deficit. I'm not saying that to upset you and to dismiss your struggles. That's just a fundamental fact. And we need to also accept that, because we hear that every day too. Like somebody disagreed with me, and I said that I was rude for telling them that this morning. I said, I'm not trying to be rude. This is a fundamental fact. You told me you are in a calorie deficit and you're not losing. I'm sorry to break it to you, but you are not in a calorie deficit.
Yeah, it's a fact over your fucking feelings. Like, you can't get emotional over science.
Yeah. Science doesn't care about your fucking feelings. Like,
it really
hard truth for the day right there. We care, but like telling yourself that you're in a calorie deficit and not losing fat, you are doing yourself a disservice, because now you're opening up the door to come up with excuses. Oh, it's my metabolism is low. My hormones, this and this and this. Get your hormones checked. Get your metabolic rate checked. If they're abnormal, then fucking do what you need to do to get them functioning regularly, right?
And believe me, I've been there. I was like, oh, it's my hormones. I got them checked. No, it wasn't my fucking hormones. It was me. It was fucking me the whole time. I wasn't doing what I needed to do, but I was looking for excuses outwards.
Right.
Very easy to do. It's human nature.
We don't want that accountability.
Let's just get real with ourselves. And until you get real, you're not going to see the results that you want. It just comes down to that, because if there is something wrong with your hormones, get them checked. Work on getting them normalized. Yeah, I'm not saying that this is an easy process for, some people. But take the initiative over your health to do something about it, instead of complaining on TikTok to one of us, like, I'm doing everything possible. It's my hormones. You don't really even know for a fact if it is or not.
Yeah.
Let's stop the blame game until we know for sure.
Yeah. Now I actually just remember what this person said this morning. It was, what I said to them was, I said, I'm sorry to break it to you, but you're not in a calorie deficit. You should be auditing your food intake and your consistency. And they told me I was rude. If you audit those two things, you're probably going to find the fucking problem right there. Maybe you're not logging accurately. Maybe you're not weighing your food and you're just eyeballing it. Maybe you're fucking 50% consistent, right? Audit your daily life.
The only one you're hurting is yourself by denying things, come on. So
there we go. So our calorie deficit, that's our tangent on calorie deficit and our very simplified explanation.
Can you tell we're passionate about this subject? Okay, so let's see here. I have Amanda Hart, 1986. What's up, Amanda?
What's up?
After finding maintenance, how much of a calorie deficit is enough for sustainable weight loss? That's a good question, Amanda. So I'd say anywhere from 300 to 500, right? 500 being the most, which I don't really recommend because then that's more of a steep deficit. But you can give yourself a range. Say you're not hungry some days, and you're just going to go a 500 under your maintenance, or if you want to do calorie cycling where you're eating higher on some days and lower on others. But I'd say I'd say 300 is a sustainable under maintenance.
Agreed.
500 is pretty steep.
Yeah. So if you do a 500 calorie deficit, that's going to put you on rate for a pound of fat loss a week. The reason why we say start lower, because that's not going to feel as restrictive. And it's going to take more time, but who the fuck cares how long it takes as long as you get there. Right.
Right.
It doesn't, if you become a millionaire, who cares how long it took you to become a millionaire, as long as you became a millionaire, right? Plus, if you become a millionaire overnight, guess what? You're not going to appreciate the fact that you're now a millionaire. And we see that all the time with people that win the lottery. They go broke within a couple of years because they didn't put in the work. They didn't put in the effort and the consistency and patience and learn all those good habits, how to budget your money. So budgeting your money, we could say budgeting your calories, energy balance, things like that, right? And we see that analogy all the time, how, balancing your checkbook is just like, tracking calories. And it's the same thing. You spend less money than you're making, you're going to be a surplus of money. If you spend less calories than you're bringing in, you're going to lose fat. So,
Yep. And also, you don't want to take 500 calories under your maintenance if you are let's say a shorter person that has a lower maintenance, then you're going to be really fucking hungry.
Then we see that the 1,200 calorie diet's coming into play.
Right? So that's on that. You can do 1,400 if you don't need to go down to 1,200. If let's say you're
and I'll be honest, I've had clients at 1,400 clients, and that makes me uneasy putting clients that low. Like if we do that, it's going to be very short term.
If I was to go into deficit, my it's around 15. 16 is like the most. So I mean, I'm not a high weight, so if I wanted to lose some body fat, it would have to be lower calories,
right?
And that's
then you're having to ask yourself, is this worth it?
Yes, exactly. Like, okay, do I really want to do this?
Okay, is it my turn?
All
right. Laura Teresa 87 said, I've been trying to eat more healthy, but keep going over on sodium intake. What foods can I eat that are low in sodium? I think that's a good question. One of the first things I will say to kind of challenge that or to answer that, if you're struggling with staying under your sodium and bringing in too much sodium, let's look at what our food consists of. Are we eating too much processed food? Are we eating out more? So let's try to start preparing at least one more meal a day from home, from scratch. If we do that, your sodium intake is going to go drastically down.
Yeah. And also, why are you focusing on sodium? Is there a medical reason? Also, I don't think I've ever tracked my sodium, to be honest. So I would question that too.
Yeah.
For medical reasons, of course.
Sure. And
are you eating a lot of boxed foods and frozen foods and
exactly eating
food?
Boxed foods and packaged foods, they're preserved. Salt is used as a preservative there, so you're going to have higher sodium. So just try minimizing that by even just one meal a day.
What is the recommended daily dose? Is it like 2,600 or
But
something?
I think it's less than that. It's like 2,300 milligrams a day.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. I thought it was in the 2000s.
So
yeah.
Yeah, and that's the recommendation from the American Heart Association, which most dietitians will have you go by. Um, so I try to follow that at some point with my clients and things like that. But I've only ever said it to a couple of clients, like, let's look at our sodium intake. And the only reason why I said let's look at our sodium intake, because I noticed every single meal was eating out. So I noticed that connection there. I was like, their sodium intake is through the roof. It's because all of our meals are processed and prepackaged. So
yeah.
Yep. Your turn.
I'm eating some almonds right now.
Do you want me to take one?
They're everything but the bagel almonds.
Oh my God, that sounds good.
And they're so fucking good. Okay. All right. What is progressive overload?
Ooh, I love it.
That's such a great question.
Yes.
Okay. Progressive overload is, a part of strength training where you're increasing your weights, you're increasing your time under tension. You're getting your form is getting better. You're basically challenging, your musculoskeletal system to get stronger and stronger each week.
Gradually increasing and getting stronger.
Yeah. That's why, you should follow a program that is, specified for that, where you're challenging yourself with the same exercises for at least 4 to 6 weeks at a time, getting stronger at those exercises.
Yes, absolutely. Now, having said that, can I give a little story here or an analogy that I'd love to share? And I'm sure you've heard it before, Beth. A story of progressive overload. So let's do some Greek mythology here. So, Milo, the story of Milo and the bull, or Milo and the calf. So Milo was a 6-time Olympic champion who lived in the 6th century BC. As a young man, Milo had been reported to gain his tremendous amount of strength that helped him become an Olympic champion by carrying a calf on his shoulders each day. And he did this every day for 4 years until that calf grew into a massive bull. So as the young calf grew, so did Milo's strength, right? Because he was progressively overloading it, because the calf was getting bigger and weighing more every day. So the load that Milo, or Milo, however the hell you want to pronounce it, was carrying every day was increasing. So he was progressively overloading it. And that's a perfect example of the first principle of strength training, which is that principle of progressive overload.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I love it. I
like that analogy. Yeah. Well, there's progressive overload.
Yeah, that's progressive overload. And you nailed the most common ones: increasing your weight over time.
Pull on the horns.
Yeah. Absolutely.
The Milo.
Yep.
Okay.
Now, all right, my turn. This is another good question. Mom to Bomb says, weight loss and strength training at the same time, does it work? Yes, absolutely. You should. Everybody should be strength training. There are so many benefits of strength training. And yes, it helps with weight loss, but that's not why we strength train. But if you're not getting stronger, if you're working out and you're not getting stronger, even though you're losing weight, there's something wrong. You should be getting stronger, even if you're losing weight. So you can build muscle while you're losing weight. You should build muscle while you're losing weight. You can and should be getting stronger while you're losing weight. It's a great way to build lean muscle mass, which is going to increase your basal metabolic rate. So if you have a low metabolism, that's one of the best things you can do to improve your metabolism is to build some lean muscle mass with strength training.
And strength training is going to shape your body how you want.
Yeah.
That's where, you don't want to do like lose a bunch of weight, right? And then there's that term skinny fat. I hate to say it, but a lot of people will lose weight without the strength training and they still are like, wow, I feel like I look the same. It's because you didn't incorporate that actual strength training.
Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's done why when you're strength training and you get that shape that you're after, you're likely going to weigh more than you thought you should have. And that's why we always stop telling people to worry, tell people to stop worrying about the scale, how much weight they're losing and things like that.
That's the thing. Or you might not even lose any weight on the scale, but your body will be completely different.
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. Just one more treat. Just one more street. That's I don't know, but that's pretty funny. How to stay on track when eating out in restaurants. Okay, so here's the thing with that. Make sure that you, in the beginning of the day, are setting yourself up. Like, let's say you're going out at night. That's just an example. Make sure you're having a high protein meal. Don't like starve yourself for that nighttime meal.
No, don't bank your calories.
Don't do that. Anyway, if you know where you're going to be eating, I suggest looking up the restaurant, the menu, looking at the menu, choosing something to eat. Hopefully it'll have, a good source of protein, some veggies. And, you can always ask for dressings on the side, ask it to not be cooked in oil. If you're tracking calories, you can find the closest thing into the app and input it. Just because you're eating out doesn't mean, you're not going to find the perfect thing in MyFitnessPal, doesn't mean you can't find something and track it and just over track.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That's great. Yeah. Great tips right there. I would play the opposite side of that, just because you gave some good information there. I would say also, how often is this happening? If this is once in a while, I would say don't worry about it. Had that one meal in the grand scheme of things, like unless you're super strict because you have a bodybuilding show coming up, or you need to make weight for some type of a competition or something, I would say don't worry about it. Enjoy that one meal. Make sure the rest of your meals that day are more nutritious. So get your fruits and vegetables in, your whole grains, proteins, and things like that throughout the day, and then enjoy yourself for that one meal, because ultimately it's not going to fucking matter.
Right.
But if you do still want to stay on track and hit your calories, what Beth said is exactly what I would recommend as well. Plan it ahead of time. Look the menu up ahead of time. And yeah.
Don't go there starving.
Don't go there starving. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Have a small snack like an hour or so before.
Then everything goes out the window.
Yeah. Okay. My turn. Yeah. Let's see. What do I want to talk about here? Let's see.
I still haven't gotten my TikTok questions. I'll do one more Instagram, then I'll do a TikTok one. I didn't realize how many I'm getting, and it's already almost 2. That's crazy.
Crazy. You get the best questions. So Guru Shaime 0007, how to bounce back reset when oh shit. Okay. This is an incomplete sentence here. How to bounce back when intermittent fasting and keto has ruined my metabolism. I had to make sense of that one. Sorry for butchering that. So how to bounce back when intermittent fasting and keto has ruined my metabolism. Well, it's kind of like what we've already been talking about, right? We need to do essentially like a reverse diet. So if you've been doing a low calorie diet, your metabolism has probably been damaged as a result of that. It can bounce back. So we bounce back, we rebuild it, we get it back to a healthy state by increasing the amount of food, the amount of energy, the amount of calories that we're bringing in. So slowly introduce more calories into your diet, maybe 50 to 75 to 100 every week, until you get back to a place where you're no longer losing weight and build or gaining weight, and you're find your new maintenance. Also, strength training. We need to be strength training. That's going to build lean muscle mass, which is going to expend more energy, because your body has to maintain that new muscle mass. So your metabolism is going to increase as a result of that. Now, it's not a huge number, but building muscle mass still is a great way of, over the long run, over many, many years, you'll be building pounds and pounds and pounds of muscle to increase your metabolism.
Yeah. Yeah. And your metabolism is not broken, by the way. You're not lost. Like, you're not going to be done forever.
It can be.
You just need to fucking eat more. You need to eat more. You need protein, like exactly what Matt said.
Yep. Eat more is the answer to metabolism issues.
Eating more.
Most of the time, unless there's hormonal issues, of course, in which, what do we say? Get it checked.
Yes. Yes. All right. My friend Amber Taylor Soares, what's up? Okay. How long did you train for your half marathon? Oh, I like this question because we were just talking about this before.
Yeah.
Okay. Good question. You can download Hal Higdon this is what I did. I did a Hal Higdon, I think it was like intermediate half. At this point I was running a while, so I could do the intermediate one. But they have a beginner one as well. And he has a half training program. And I think a good rule of thumb is like a good 3 to 4 months if you are already consistently running before that.
Got it.
So 3 to 4 months before your race is 6 would be good, but 3 to 4 months is doable.
Which that aligns with what we're talking about too, because we're going to do the Couch to 5K program and then find a half to run, and that'll give us plenty of time to prepare, right?
Oh, totally. So we can have a good 6 months, which is perfect. We can just, what you do is we'll start at 3 miles. What you do is you have a schedule of miles throughout the week, which are usually your lower mileage. And then you have one weekend day where you have your long run. So your long run will start from 3 miles. The next week will be 4. You're going to move yourself up to 12. So that's what, 3 or 4 months, right?
Yeah.
And then you don't run your 13 till race time.
Yeah, you'll never run that full length until the actual race time. And it's just like with powerlifting, you don't actually lift those weights until you get to the competition stage that day. Yeah. And what you just described there, going back to the question about progressive overload, that's progressive overload, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You're gradually doing more. And that's what we're doing right now with the Couch to 5K program. We're gradually doing longer runs.
And this is an 8-week program to run 5 miles or 3 miles. So
3 miles. Yeah, totally. Now I could sit here and run 3 miles without training at all, but I'd feel like shit. I'd beat my body up. My body would not be able to recover well. So
you probably would start not liking it too.
Yeah, absolutely. And
you would get shin splints,
like somebody asked about earlier. So yeah, this is why we talk about doing small things all the time. Yeah, train smart.
Train smarter, not harder.
You can't eat an elephant in one bite, right? You eat the elephant in thousands of bites over the course of.
I thought of eating an elephant, but okay. Oh, that's awesome. All right, I'm gonna go. It's your turn. I was gonna go right to TikTok already.
Oh, go. Do you have one? Go ahead.
Yes, from JACB78. I've been in a deficit for a couple of months, thanks to you guys. Just started strength training. Is it necessary to up my calories and protein intake? Thank you.
Okay. That's a fair question.
That's a good question. It depends what you got your deficit calories as your activity. So what was your activity when you got your deficit calories? Maybe recalculate that with the added activity and see where your maintenance would be with the strength training.
Yeah. Like if they were if they were already losing a pound a week with their current deficit, they're probably gonna, with that increased activity. I don't know. Honestly, that 3 days of strength training, is that what they said?
She just said just started strength training. She didn't have any days, which it just depends. I would maybe, before you change anything, monitor your hunger.
Yeah, for sure.
See where that's at. But definitely you should be getting enough protein anyway. Your protein should always stay the same whether you're strength training or not.
Definitely. And it's even more, it's always important, but it's going to be even more important once you start that strength training. So yeah. Cool. All right. I'm on TikTok as well. Devon Sonique said best foods to eat to burn fat. Well, I guess how do we look at this question? Are you asking me which foods you should be eating to burn fat? Because there are no fat burning foods. Food does not burn fat, and there's no negative calorie foods while we're on the subject. You can't fucking eat celery and magically burn more calories than you consume. You would have to chew that shit thousands and thousands of times, and then it's just not possible. Okay. So best foods to eat to burn fat are going to be the foods that you enjoy, because how do we burn fat? By being in a calorie deficit.
Yes.
Now, if you look at a percentage wise, let's say 80% of the time, try to eat whole, nutritious foods, lean proteins. So that's going to be fruits, vegetables, lean proteins, whole grains, things like that. And then 20% of the time, you've got that flexibility to eat those fun foods, those sometimes foods, like Beth likes to say. So there are no foods that are best for burning fat. For me, I know what I like, what's best for me. That's not what's best for you. So it's got to be what you enjoy. I'm not going to name any foods here specifically, because that's a personal decision. I don't know anything about you.
Right.
What do you think?
Absolutely.
All right.
Living it. This is TikTok. If we skipped any of your questions from Instagram or TikTok, we will be doing these again.
Yes.
So I am sorry. I actually got a lot. Thank you guys for adding to, I did a little story after I got maybe like 3 or 4 questions. I was like, come on, you guys always send me questions. Why do I
and
have
then the questions started coming in?
3 fucking questions right now? I mean, yes. And so now I'm overloaded in questions.
Of course.
Which is great. Thank you. This gives me opportunity for content. So maybe stay tuned for videos. Living it 20. Where and how can I strength train at home? I have a bar, weights, bands, and all the goodies. Well, guess what? Living it 20. You should join our Patreon. Cut the Crap Pod, because we have monthly workouts for you to do at home or in the gym with those actual things that you have available. So Cut the Crap Pod, our Patreon. Monthly workouts, monthly challenges, and also if you want to do, that's the $5 option. If you want the $10 one, you get added recipes, high protein, low calorie.
And oh my gosh, those new recipes that were just loaded, puppy chow, like I am losing my mind that there's a puppy chow recipe in there. So excited for that.
Oh my God. And Matt is coming to Maine next week.
What? Next week.
And we're going to be fucking cooking together with Chef Richard. He told me that you suggested nachos.
I did suggest nachos.
So I guess we are making a low calorie, high protein version of the nachos.
Fuck yeah.
And I'm like, we want to add a big ass salad tab to the Now We're Cooking. So I was like, let's do a taco salad.
Oh,
since we are doing nachos.
Okay. All right. So that's going to be some exclusive content coming to the Patreon. Going to get me and Beth and they're cooking together. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to that. I'm sure we'll create some content from that. And we're also going to be recording some exclusive Patreon content as well. So if you're not already in the Patreon, now's a great time to get started. We're going to be doing more exclusive content for just our biggest fans on there. So
and the link we'll put the link for that in our show notes.
Absolutely. My gosh, I can't believe that we used up our full hour already. But those were some great questions, guys.
Those are really good.
Like Beth said, we've done these before. We want to do them more frequently. So we'll definitely do these more frequently. And we've also done like the TikTok lives and things like that, where we answer people's questions live. So we should probably do one of those here sometime soon. So
yeah, for sure.
And we're going to be doing an in-person episode.
That's going away again this weekend, so we won't be doing a TikTok live on Friday.
About that, I may not now. So Sierra might end up having her kids this weekend. They were supposed to go with their dad, but she might need to watch her kids this weekend. So I might be staying home. So if I do, I'll know, like today's Wednesday. I'll know tomorrow, and then I can let you know if we're doing the podcast or the TikTok live Friday, as long as you haven't planned something else already. So
no.
Okay.
No.
Wonderbar.
All right.
Bye.
I'll see you fucking later. Bye, guys.
And that is a wrap for this episode of Cut the Crap with Beth and Matt. Did we help you cut through the bullshit? We want to know. Send us a DM on Instagram and share your thoughts. We'd love to hear them. And if you did find this one helpful, why not share this episode with a friend? I know I personally love it when a friend shares their favorite podcast with me, along with a text saying, "Oh my God, you have got to check out this podcast. You'll love it." And of course, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast